In this video, we will learn what the command line interface or CLI is, how it works in both Linux and Windows, and why it is still an important tool for computer users, especially programmers and system administrators. We'll explore how it helps you control your computer by typing commands, and how it's different from the usual way we click on things using a mouse. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel and click on that like button if you like my video. Also click on that notification bell. Thank you. Have you ever seen someone using a black screen with white text typing commands like cd, dir, or ls? It might look confusing at first, like some sort of hacker movie, but it's actually one of the most powerful ways to talk to a computer. This is called the command line interface or CLI. And no, you don't need to be a hacker to use it. Once you learn the basics, it's like talking to your computer in its own language. So what exactly is the command line interface? CLI is a way to interact with a computer using text commands. Instead of clicking buttons or icons with a mouse like we do in normal Windows or Linux desktops, in CLI you type specific instructions into a window called the terminal or command prompt. When you press enter, the computer follows your instruction. Think of it like giving your computer very clear step-by-step directions. Let's say you want to open a folder, copy a file, or delete something. Usually, you just use your mouse and do it through windows and menus. But with CLI, you do the same job by typing short commands. For example, in Windows, if you want to see all the files in a folder, you can open command prompt and type dir. In Linux, you would type ls for the same thing. These commands show you a list of files and folders, just like clicking into a folder does, but faster. Now let's talk about how CLI works in Windows. Windows has a program called Command Prompt. You can open it by typing cmd into the Start menu. There's also a newer tool called PowerShell that gives even more features. In Command Prompt, you can type commands like cd to change directory, mkdir to make a new folder, or del to delete a file. It might look boring, but once you learn a few commands, you can do things much quicker than using a mouse. It's especially useful if you need to do the same task many times, like copying files to many folders or renaming a group of files at once. In Windows PowerShell, the commands are a bit more advanced. It lets you write small scripts to automate tasks. That means you can type a set of instructions once, save them, and use them again anytime. This is great for IT professionals who manage many computers and don't want to repeat the same steps again and again. Now let's move to Linux. Linux also uses the CLI, and in fact it's used more often in Linux than in Windows. Most Linux systems have something called the terminal. In it, you can type commands like ls to list files, cd to move between folders, cp to copy files, and rm to delete files. One reason people love Linux is because the terminal gives so much power and control over the system. Linux commands are very short but powerful, and many commands can be joined together using something called pipes to create even more useful tasks. For example, you can search through a file, copy the results, and save them somewhere else using just one line of commands. You can even install software from the internet using just one command like sudo apt install Firefox. Hey, if you want to learn more about Linux, then enroll in our complete Linux training course bundle. We also offer a free Linux course on our website. Make sure to check these out. I'm mentioning links in the description box. You might be wondering, why do people still use CLI when we have such nice looking windows and icons? The answer is speed and control. CLI is faster for many tasks, especially if you're working with lots of files or need to repeat actions. With CLI, you don't need to open lots of windows or click through menus. You just type the command and it's done. CLI is also used when there is no graphical user interface, like on remote servers. Many web servers don't have any windows or icons at all. They only give you access through a terminal. So if you want to manage websites, apps, or cloud systems, learning CLI is a must. Another reason is automation. Imagine you have 1,000 files to rename. Doing it by hand would take hours. But with CLI, you can write one simple script and rename them all in seconds. That's why professionals use CLI. It saves time and effort. Also, many programming tools work through the CLI. If you learn coding, you'll often need to run your code from the terminal. You might also need to use tools like Git, Node.js, Python, or Java, all of which work great with CLI. In fact, some tools don't even have a graphical version, so knowing how to use the command line is the only way. Let's compare Windows and Linux CLI quickly. In Windows, the CLI is often used for system management, network tasks, and automation with PowerShell. It is more user-friendly now than before, but not as widely used by beginners. Linux, on the other hand, relies heavily on CLI, especially in servers and development environments. Most Linux distributions are designed to let users do almost everything through the terminal. Another thing to know is that CLI can be customized. In Linux, users can set up aliases, shortcuts for long commands. For example, instead of typing sudo apt update and sudo apt upgrade, you can create an alias like update all. This makes working in the terminal even easier. Even though CLI might seem scary at first, it's not hard to learn. Start with basic commands. Try listing files, making folders, deleting a file, or moving around in the directories. Practice for a few minutes every day. Soon, it will feel as normal as clicking around with a mouse. There are also many online websites that let you practice CLI in a safe environment. These platforms guide you through lessons so you can learn step by step without breaking anything on your computer. So, to wrap it up, the command line interface is a powerful tool that helps you interact with your computer by typing commands. It works in both Windows and Linux, and it gives you more control, speed, and flexibility than using a mouse. Whether you're managing files, writing code, or controlling a remote server, knowing how to use CLI makes you a smarter and faster computer user. Don't worry if it seems tricky at first, it gets easier with practice. And once you learn it, you'll wonder how you ever worked without it. Alright, I hope you learned something useful, and let's keep learning together.